top of the screen, Florida Panthers. They've won 6 straight games, 40 wins. Nice little cushion on Toronto. They played one more game, but they got a little cushion there. And over the last few weeks, added Seth Jones in the back end. And then as the deadline came down to the final few seconds, we find out that they had Brad Marchand. I don't know why. I don't really, but I hope it works. You know what I mean? I would like not Marchand to go in there and then can't keep up and is an afterthought. And you're like, oh, it's kind of a nothing deal in the end. I would love for him to go in there and be a dirty shirt and just make them all the better and harder to play against. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, that line you could put together. We talked about it on Friday. Bennett, Tkachuk, and Marchand on the same line. That is just...
He has to be... My concern is, because I agree with you, my concern is that Boston knows him best. They didn't get hardly F all back in return, in my opinion, and they walked from their captain and a guy that's going to be...
Yeah, I think the return was because he asked to go there.
Okay, well, whatever. It's more that they're willing to walk away from him. Maybe they're doing him a favor. I don't
yeah,
but I don't think teams look at it that way. Like, they're not moving a guy that's integral to their room and is a leader, has been there forever. If they don't think he can contribute, like, they're doing it because they don't think he can contribute anymore.
Yeah, there was a gap on extensions.
I hope I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right to an extent. They weren't comfortable extending him at a number that would have kept him there. And when the extension talks fell apart, then it was like, okay, what are we doing here? He raised his hand and said, I'd like to specifically play here. There's a couple Bruins in upper management in Florida, Gregory Campbell, Sean Thornton. It's a place he's obviously familiar with. He would have, met a bunch of those guys at Four Nations. And to your point, like, he kind of got pushed down that lineup at that tournament. He was not as noticeable as typical Brad Marchand. How much is left, I don't know, but I love him in a 7-game series more than that tournament, which was the fastest hockey I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's talking about Florida, it's to a lesser extent. It was Tarasenko. Remember last year they were going to trade Tarasenko, but where's he going to go? Well, he really only wants to go to Florida. They almost did it as a favor to Tarasenko. And for... It was less return than what you thought you were going to get. And to your point, Rhett, I think they have to reach the East Final with Marchand, win 2 rounds with Marchand playing at least half the games.
And there was a lot of guys that moved for seconds that were dusters. So if it turns out to be a second, that sucks for Boston. But I think they also were at a crossroads of, like, how do we treat an all-time franchise great on the way out? Probably wasn't easy taking a lesser package than there would have been elsewhere, but you did him right.
We talked about it a bit on Friday. This hurts if you're a Boston Bruins fan. You've seen your team kind of have a tough year. The goaltending stuff at the start of the year, and then the team's not great, and the free agent guys you brought in have not been good, and the team's falling out, and then you're selling at the deadline. There's a list that somebody had put online. The list of players that they have shipped out it's kind of staggering. And then it's Marchand, it's the captain, it's the heartbeat of your team, probably a fan favorite to so many of those people. Marchand shows up in Florida, excited to show, and he's pumped to join the new team. But if you're a Bruins fan, this is just more ache for your heart. Here was Marchand on his first availability with the Panthers.
I've had an incredible run in that organization, and I'm extremely proud. How things went there. Sorry. So yeah, it was very disappointing that things didn't get done, just because obviously I love the organization. I wanted to stay there. I don't hold that against him or the group. It's just part of life. It's part of the game. But also, he did create this opportunity for me to be here. So I am grateful. Beyond words for everything that organization has done for me.
Ooh.
How about it, hey? Days later. And he would go on to be very excited. He talked about, the Bennett, he's a scumbag, looking forward to playing with him. Like there was some levity and but to see, if you're a Bruins fan there again, remember when Iggy went to Pittsburgh? Like, I wonder how he feels. Oh, I'm pretty excited to be here. Pittsburgh's great. I love Primanti's. It's great barn. Love it here. The weather's nice. Have you seen the rolling hills? It's beautiful here in Pittsburgh. I love it. It's like, oh, he doesn't miss us at all.
Sid.
He's not upset about leaving us one bit. If you're a Bruins fan, you're like, oh, that's our boy. It's our boy, dude.
You made a reference to the turnover from 2 years ago when they set the modern day record for best regular season ever. 5 guys left. Swayman in net. McAvoy and Hampus Lindholm on the back end. Zaka, Pasternak up front. That's it. And that was kind of like what we saw happen here from the Battle of Alberta series. All you have left is Coleman, Backlund, Anderson, Vladar.
I saw that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meme where Will Smith is standing in the living room and all the furniture's gone. He's like, oh, it's kind of nothing left here. There's McAvoy and Pasternak. Yeah. McAvoy's like, I got a bad shoulder. What the fuck happened? I went away to this tournament. I got hurt. I was in hospital for a bit. I come back and now Carlo's gone. Our captain's gone. What the H is happening around here?
And I don't know, like, I could see them being solid, but I don't think they're anywhere near being a contender again.
No, and I don't know that any of the moves are the wrong moves. You can argue there. Do you bother taking? But you did it for him. You did it for Marchand. I don't know that necessarily they trade him unless Brad really wants to go. It's a first round pick in the end if it gets to be that. But the Carlo deal was a good haul. I think.
No, less about that. It's more just like last summer really sewered them.
Sure. Yeah, but to sit and kind of double down and say, no, maybe it's just a bad year. Maybe Lindholm and everything will be better next year. That's not the vibe I get out of there. We got to cut to cure. And if we're going to try and turn this thing around as quickly as possible, we got to do some things here.
The problem with the management is that they made those decisions not that long ago, thinking they were on the cusp of going the other way, right? Like, I don't disagree with you. The cut to cure is the right move, but it was only 6 months ago that they were adding pieces that are albatrosses now.
Yeah,
it feels
the
like.
One thing that has to get better is Swayman, because that whole negotiation was bad for him, and he'd never played more than 44 games in a season. All those excuses are out the window next year. You got to come back as a stud. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long-form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.